Hey guys, this is Specter, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to do a super slow motion in Vegas using the Twixtor plugin. Twixtor or Twixtor Pro is a third-party plugin that you need to install outside of Vegas Pro, and it also works with Adobe Premiere. Once you install it, you will find the effect available in the Video Effects tab, and you can start using it by dragging the effect into your clips. Now let's get into action so you can understand how slow motion works. Normally when you want to add slow motion in Vegas, you're left with two options. Either you hold Ctrl and drag the clip like this, which will apply a maximum slow motion of 25%, or you can use velocity by right-clicking on the video, on Insert Remove Envelope and enabling it from here. Now you'll notice that we have this green line on top of the video, which we can manipulate by adding keyframes and setting the desired speed. Now here's the catch. With normal slow motion or velocity, let's say that you want to add a 10% slow motion to your kill, you will see that your clip's frame rate will drop dramatically because this is how slow motion works. So if I add a 10% slow motion on a 60 FPS clip, it basically means that my clip is now at 6 FPS and it looks totally unprofessional or not even watchable at all. And here comes Twixtor Pro. This plugin will actually process all your frames and it will generate extra frames per second that will be inserted in between your original frames. This means that you can even add a 1% slow motion and it will look totally fine. Check this out. Now what you need to know is that Twixtor is a really intensive plugin that will most likely add a lot of lag to your preview window and increase your render speed depending on how often you use it. I highly recommend you to watch my how to fix preview lag in Vegas before playing with Twixtor, so you can make sure that Vegas is properly configured and you have the least preview lag possible. If you want to check that video, it's gonna pop up in the top right card right now. So in regards to how to add Twixtor exactly, all you guys have to do is pretty much go where the kill happens, where you want to add Twixtor, make sure to cut the video clip. This is not a necessary step, but it will make the animation process easier a bit. And drag Twixtor or Twixtor Pro on the clip as shown. And right here, you don't really have to change anything except speed, of course. And there's this setting as well, which is BG Motion Sense. I can't really explain what it does exactly. It pretty much controls the warping in the clip itself, but what I found out is that I'm mostly using 100 all the time, so just set this to 100 and make sure to start animating the speed by clicking on the animate button right here. And right now on the bottom of the settings right here, we have this keyframe for the speed, which is 100%. And the way I pretty much do it, what you need to understand right here is that Twixtor works best when there is little to no movement in the clip. Why am I mentioning this is because when the clip moves, just like here, guys. So I'm making this scale, and after that I immediately look to the left. You will see that if we add Twixtor here, let's say I want to set the speed to 15. So this is 15. Once I start looking to the left, everything is gonna be messed up. So this is pretty much called warping. And what happens is that the frames are trying to blend in together and it creates this effect. Now, it can be a little bit annoying and I kind of try to avoid this as much as possible. And what I should do here would be to add a low value for speed, just so that we can delay the movement to the left as much as possible. So let's say I'm gonna add a keyframe. Let me make this a bit smaller so we can also see the screen. right? So I'm gonna add a keyframe right here. Let's set this to 100. This is the first keyframe. And I have this keyframe right over here. And for the first keyframe, we need to set the fast fade, so it goes just as fast as possible to the second value from our second keyframe. And if I'm gonna add here, I don't know, 3% speed, let's see how it looks like right now. It's gonna be a bit laggy. The best way to do it is just to pre-render and to see how it exactly looks, but we can get an idea just for trying to preview it like this. It's gonna be a bit laggy, but we can live with that for now. Right, so it looks like it reached the second keyframe, but there is still, like, I want this to be shown for, I don't know, a couple seconds. So I guess I should move the keyframe a bit more to the left, so the speed gets to 3% a bit faster. Let me try to play it in slow motion to see how it looks like. Alright, so you see guys, right here I kinda eliminated the warping, but some people might say that this is too slow. And yes, indeed, it's a bit too slow, but what you guys can do is to trick the viewers with more screen movement by adding, I don't know, let's say blur more curves. If you have Twixtor on your clip and you want to use regular pan crop, it won't work and it will get pretty messed up. So instead I'm using the sapphire blur more curves. And I'm trying to create a little bit of impact. Let's see where my kill is. By adding some zoom. Let's say, I don't know, 0.85. And I'm gonna have to add a keyframe. Animate it first, add a keyframe. Before the kill happens, I want to have value set to 1. And we will have to animate the zoom back effect by setting it back to 1, just as shown. Let's see now. So it's a bit slower than expected, but let me try to pre-render it, see how it looks like. So in general guys, Twixtor is really nice. You shouldn't really abuse it, just maybe use it a couple times in each clip. Try to avoid warping as much as possible. And it's important to note that Twixtor works best with impact frags. So even if you have just, I don't know, one op shot like I have right here, by adding just Twixtor, it's basically not enough because we need more impact. So we can add impact by adding more effects, by adding zoom in effects and even sound effects. Alright, so the pre-render is finished. Let's see how it looks like. You see, so I'm still having a bit of warping. Like I can even remove that by setting a 1% speed. But what I'm trying to highlight here is that we are having screen movement because of the blur mockers effect, and it's kind of tricking the viewers. And let's say that here's where I want the Twixtor to end. And if you want to go back to the original speed, just change the speed back of the Twixtor itself. Let's say add another keyframe right here and move at the end another keyframe and set the speed back to 100. You can do that as well. Alright, now that we learn how Twixtor works, I can show you another example let's say I have this clip right here, which is an older clip of mine, but what I want to show you in particular is that I had this knife, the Huntsman, and I want to highlight the fact that Twixtor is not really doing a good job when there's a lot of movement in the clip. So first of all, this clip is filmed in 25% speed. So it's from a demo filmed in 25% speed. So I have to first go to properties here and set the playback rate 4 times so that the clip plays at normal speed. Yeah, so this is pretty much normal speed. And let's say I want to start adding Twixtor right here. And I'll just set the speed straight to, I don't know, 40% and BG motion sense to 100. Now let's see how this clip looks like. It's a bit laggy, of course. I'll have to pre-render again. Right, so it's finished. Now let's see how the Twixtor looks on this knife. You see, so it's not really crystal clear. If you want to add just a 40% speed on your clip, you're better just using velocity. If you have like a demo filming in slow motion, you're better off by just using velocity. And I'll demonstrate that by disabling the Twixtor right here, adding velocity, and set it to 40%. See, so it's a bit better with the velocity in this case. But if you want to go the extra mile, and if you have demo filmings and you've done them in slow motion and you're really passionate about it, what you can do is set the playback rate to 1 again. So this means that the above clip will already be in slow motion, right? Let me disable the velocity. And you can add Twixtor on the clip with the normal playback rate. Let's see how that looks like. Twixtor enabled, 40%. We'll have to pre-render again. Okay, it's finished. So you see, it's way smoother and it works better. If you have demo filmings in slow motion, just set the playback speed to 1, and after that you can just synchronize the clips by, I don't know, cutting and moving the below clip just to match the next frame of this. Pretty much. So the knife is in the air right here. Let's see. Something like that. Actually, need to go on the last frame of this. Just like this. I'm gonna play it in slow motion now, just so you guys can see exactly. Yeah. This is pretty much with Twixtor, guys. I know it's a long tutorial. I mean, I'm trying to make them, I don't know, as quick as possible, but you guys need to understand some key aspects when editing with Twixtor. Best way to use Twixtor and not have headaches is just to have clips where let's say you're making a kill, just like in our first clip right here, and you'll have to train yourself, like after you make something insane, just to stop moving, because if I stopped moving right here, like looking to the left, would have been so much better for me. But you guys can work with it, and if there's a lot of movement in the kill itself, you can do something like this. For example, let's say this is the kill right here. Cut this and go to the moment where, if you have a nice knife like a karambit or something, just like this, cut it right here, and you can add Twixtor on the karambit. Gonna animate it again from 100 to, let's say, to 2% speed, fast fade, and we'll have to blend together these clips. Apparently I used the Twixtor a bit too late here. Let's move the keyframe a bit to the left. Or is it too soon? Let me remove this just to get an idea. No, it's a bit too soon, so alright. Now I'm gonna add the Twixtor again. 2% speed. Okay. Looks decent enough. And right here we'll have to add a transition. My favorite one is definitely the newblue zoom. So I'm using this preset, centered zoom blur. Add it in between the clips. And let's see how it looks like. Gonna pre-render again. Alright, it's finished. Now let's check it out. Looks really nice. I think the speed could be like a bit faster. I mean, the keyframe could be a bit more to the left, so it transitions a bit faster to the 2% speed. And also you shouldn't forget about the blur mo curves again, which is just adding a bit of zoom in, zoom out effect. So this set to 0.8, let's say, and right here 1. Bit further away. Yeah, and when you're working with Twixtor, it's just better to remove the audio entirely, because look, I just increased the volume a bit so you guys can hear. So I made the kill and I have a lot of random sounds from me hitting my knife on the walls and whatever. So just delete the audio entirely and you guys can add like whatever sound effect you want. Let's see, where's my op effect? This one right here, op slow motion. You just sync it on the transition. Just like shown. And if you sync this on a beat from your song, it's gonna be already epic. What else you can do? This is just a bonus, guys. Add more effects. Let's say you can add color corrector secondary, desaturate all but reds, add it right here, and also a bump map for some lightness. Let's see how it looks like. This one we need to animate, so it will start with 0.75 and let's make it 0.5. This is the default value. If it's 0.5, then it means no lightness is applied to it. So yeah, this is the final product pretty much. Let me just add one more effect so you guys get an idea. Let's say I can also use the reverse bass sound effect. So if I just add it here, it's a bit too loud. Okay. And you guys shouldn't forget also about the knife sound, which I'm gonna add right now. Alright, this is the knife sound for it. I'm gonna lower the volume a bit. You can even just stretch this knife sound. Actually removed it because there's a bug when I stretch it after I normalize. If I increase the volume for it, let's stretch it now. When you use control to add slow motion or on a sound effect, make sure to right click properties and press lock to stretch. Let's see how it looks like. Or actually let's hear. Something like this. Alright, yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it for this tutorial, guys. I know it's a long video, thank you so much for watching. If you have any further questions, make sure to leave a comment. I can maybe make a second version of this tutorial, a second clip, just to show you guys how you can add multiple effects on Twixtor, and just basic tutorials like what we did right here. So how to work with Twixtor and different effects. Yeah, I'm actually happy with the outcome. If we had a song, but I'm not gonna add a song because I want to try to avoid being copyrighted on this tutorial. If we had a song, it would have been way much better, but either way, don't forget to leave a like to help me show this video to multiple people, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next tutorials.